top seed Gonzaga Bulldogs improved to 26-6 and advanced to the West Coast Conference semifinals on Monday after a 77-75 victory over Santa Clara. We are joined by head coach Mark Few, who just won his 400th career game, along with student athletes David Stockton and Sam Dower Jr., who tied a West Coast Conference tournament single game record with 15 for 15 from the free throw line, most makes without a miss. Coach, we'll start with you and your thoughts on the victory tonight, Coach.
Yeah, it was truly a great win for us. We had to dig as deep as probably we've had to dig this year, and these guys did it, and made play after play after play down the stretch, winning plays down the stretch, and we needed every one of them, including that last one. And the other night when I watched Santa Clara play, I knew we were going to have our hands full because they were a hot team. They were shooting the ball really well, and in tournaments like this, those are the teams that you fear. That they're coming in with nothing to lose, and they did a great job. I mean, they were flying around and playing so hard on the defensive end and being really disruptive in the game. I guess it was Thursday night. Is that right? All right, my date's all screwed up here. Thursday night, and then so we knew we were going to be in for a hard-fought one. We had a great game with them at Santa Clara, and sure enough, they really put it on us there for a while.
We'll take questions from media members. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. Please tell us name and affiliation. We'll start with you, Bud, in the front.
Bud Withers, Seattle Times. David, can you kind of reconstruct the last 9 seconds and what you were looking for and what ultimately developed?
First of all, I was just going to try to run some time so they don't get a chance to get a fast break the other way, and then just attack. And if they help, then I have shooters, but they locked onto shooters, and that's where the opportunity was.
Will Moppin, midmajormadness.com. You had Jared Brownridge go off for 18 points in the first half, then you held him to 6 in the second. Can you just talk about what changed in your defensive game plan for the second half?
Who's that directed to?
Well, he hit a lot of tough shots in the first half. I think there was maybe one or two where we lost him. I know there was one where we didn't fight through a double screen, but the other ones, he was closely guarded, and he's got a real knack for making those. We challenged the guys at the second half to get up and contest a little bit better, and we did, and those made those shots a little bit tougher. But you're still kind of wincing when he does, because he's got a knack for making those closely guarded shots. He's been showing that all year. He's a heck of a freshman in this league. Big time.
Other questions for Gonzaga? Amanda?
Sam, can you just talk about where your team found kind of the strength to dig deep and really get that win and pull it out at the very end?
I think it's just our relentlessness that our team has. We've been in situations like that where we've been down in the second half. It's at Santa Clara this year, they make it tough every time we play them. But, we stick together as a group, and, we're willing to do whatever, run through a brick wall for each other. And that's what ended up happening. Each guy's made plays, no matter if it's scoring or rebounding, diving on the floor. Somebody made plays for us to get wins today.
David, at the end of that game, your team went crazy. What's going through your mind as that buzzer sounds?
I'm just thinking about, let's finish this thing off. We got another game, and I did enjoy the moment a little bit, but I just think it's important that we win these games and have a better effort and maybe start out a game a little bit better than we did today.
I think he gave a little hop like his dad did when he hit that three. And what was that?
I didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Gonzaga Prep girls won today, and that's his little sister won a state championship today. So pretty cool.
Adam?
Mark, how hard is it for you to keep the team's composure after the late, you're up 5, you give up a 3-point play, quick turnover, but you still have to focus to come back and get that winning bucket?
I mean, they were focused. I mean, they knew we do a lot of end of game stuff. We've been playing, with situations here probably the last month. So he's got a real knack for just kind of making plays at the end of games and all our little situational things that we do. He's just got kind of a winning knack. That's why I felt like he was the best guy to put in a full court ball screen situation. I mean, we shoot half quarters every time at shoot around. He's probably got 30 of them, I think. He's shooting better from half court than he is from the 3 line. True. And so he just got a good little knack for that. So, I mean, I think that they were poised. They knew we made a mistake not getting the ball in there, but we didn't dwell on it.
Any other questions for Gonzaga? Jason?
Jason Franchuk, Pro for Daily Herald. David, you got to the rim before that once, too, and was it a similar setup, what Santa Clara was trying to do to you there?
Yeah,
that layup?
Yeah, definitely. I think, Kevin and Gary just draw so much attention, and with Sam playing the way he was, there's not a lot of help coming off. They're sticking to their guys, and they're forcing me to try and finish, and that's what I was able to do.
And Mark, since that tough swing through Provo and then through San Diego, what have you guys either redone or rediscovered?
We just taken every game one at a time, and I think we got back to, probably being a more physical team, a rebounding team. If you look at the numbers and establishing our inside game, I think we got a little bit away from, finding these guys down the stretch of that game. We found Sam a lot, and that was really important, as opposed to maybe just getting a little too caught up with the perimeter stuff.
Last question, John in the front.
Mark, the turnover issues in the first half, was it their scrambling defense? Was it the things that you weren't doing?
I mean, it was a little bit of both. Obviously, it was that they were opportunistic on the defensive end, and they were trapping our posts, but we've been seeing that pretty much all year, and we just got done with a weekend on the road where we handled it very well, laid it up. But a little bit of that, and then just a little bit of guys just trying to make plays, on the first side, and that's been our issue all year. When we start trying to do that, those are the games that we go back over all the games that we've struggled in. It's been primarily because of that.
All right, Gonzaga, congrats on the win. We'll see you Monday.
Thank you.
It doesn't. Great game.
We brought Brandon Clark and Jared Brownridge. Jared Brownridge passed Steve Nash today for number 10 on the single season points scored list. And Brandon Clark scored those figures for the 23rd game in a row. And I've been looking at us for a long time. I can't believe it so far.
We're being joined by the Santa Clara Broncos and head coach Kerry Keating, along with student athletes Jared Brownridge and Brandon Clark. Coach, we'll start with you, please. An opening statement on tonight's game.
Yeah, congratulations to Gonzaga. Obviously a very resilient team and program, and been in a lot of pressure situations before, so not a surprise they handled it properly, being able to make the last shot against us again for the second time in a row. And they deserve a lot of credit for that. And obviously a team that will play in the postseason regardless of what happens here, and regardless of what happened today, they would have played in the postseason because their body of work is deserving of that. I'm also very proud of our guys for the way we've been handling ourselves at the end of the season. In particular, after falling short on some things that could have been better that weren't, I thought we handled ourselves properly even through a tough stretch, and certainly put ourselves in a position to play our best basketball when you need to be playing your best basketball at the end of the season. It's a hard lesson to learn for our upperclassmen and our seniors that are moving on in their lives. It's a great lesson to learn for our underclassmen and our future program that'll have 9 freshmen and sophomores in it next year, to understand that if we play this hard for every game that we go out, no matter who we're playing, we're not going to lose too many games. At the very least, we're going to be a lot closer than the 19 times or the other 18 times that we fell short. So I'm excited about where we're going, and I know this is going to sting for a while for a lot of different reasons, because I thought our guys really gave them everything they could handle and did a great job on a great defensive game plan by our coaches and a great execution of that by our players. And the toughness even more so at the very end of the game, being down 2 possessions to even get it to a tie game, I think speaks volumes about where we can be, not necessarily where we almost were right now. And that's why we have Jared and Brandon with me. We usually bring our seniors up here. I think we're in a transitional period right now of our program that it's appropriate that Jared and Brandon are here. Brandon ready to be a senior. And what more can you say about what Jared did this year and put himself in a position to be, along with Brandon next year and years beyond. So congratulations to Gonzaga, Mark, his staff, his team. Wish them luck and hope that they can represent our conference deep into the tournament. I know it's another great game that we gave fans here today in New Orleans and the WCC, that we have good basketball in this league. For the 9th place team in the league to win 4 true road games and then come out and probably play them, and maybe as tough as anyone else is going to play in this tournament, I think says a lot about our guys and our team and our program. And I'm excited about that, even though disappointed we fell short today.
We'll take questions. We'll start with questions for student athletes. Please, if you have a question, members of the media, please raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. Steve?
Jared, what did Coach tell you guys after the game?
He just explained to us that this is a perfect opportunity to build off of, and that's been our word from the beginning of the season, is build. That's what our team chose, and that's what we're going to follow by. So I think by our seniors leaving us off like this, it's a great opportunity to go back in the off season and build off of this. Next year, I think we put ourselves in a good position to where nobody's going to want to mess with us.
100% too. I'm talking about the 100% too. It's important.
Jared, after a season like this that you had, and then to come out and play as well as you did, I think 18 in the first half, and just hitting tough shot after tough shot, what does a game like this and a tournament like this do for you moving forward?
Doesn't do anything for me. It just does more for our team, I think. It's more about the team group. That's what we're focused on. And I think next year we're looking pretty good for what we're coming in with. So I just think this is a perfect opportunity to build off.
Amanda?
Brandon, your thoughts on the game and just what your team can do to build off of the loss?
On the game, I think our coaches did a great job putting us in a position to battle for the 40 minutes that we did. I think that everybody on the team locked in and played their hearts out like Coach told us to whatever we had to leave it out on the court. I think that we've been in this by this close game. We know what it takes the whole season to be ready for when we get back into this same spot. And I think for the underclassmen and myself and Denzel and Yannick coming back being seniors, we know exactly where we got to start from day one, and not wait until the end to pick it up, but to put ourselves in a better position at the beginning of the season.
Other questions for student athletes or Coach Keating?
Kerry, you talked about kind of the disappointing, the other 18, but that playing your best here at the end of the season. What is it that you saw in this team that kind of grew throughout the year to get to this point to play at this level now?
Well, we put a lot of stock into having positive energy in our program, and we hit a lull on that 7-game losing streak where it was getting away from us. And there were things that we fell short on along that line this year. And I take responsibility for that first, being the head coach. But I really put a lot of responsibility into our players for that, because I think it's a life lesson that has to be taught and learned every day. It can't just be at the end of the season. It can't just be when you're playing 40 minutes in the uniform. It can't just be practice because you're not in class. That it has to be all the time. And you know, there isn't a lot of, there aren't 5 different newspapers and 3 websites, and we're not on ESPN all the time. So there isn't a lot of, exposure or coverage to every little thing that we do. But every little thing that we do in this program matters more to me, whether it's exposed or not. So there wasn't a lot of attention paid to that. And it can't just be how we played at the end of the year, because everyone's paying attention to that. Having Pepperdine down 27 with 15 minutes to go in the second half, beating Pacific again badly in the first game of this tournament, taking Gonzaga to the end. I mean, we've had our moments in this program. But I think the biggest lesson we were able to learn today is that word that the team chose back in the summer, that word of build, we weren't building as well as we needed to throughout the year. But when you stay true to your word, and if you really live it, at the end of the day and at the end of the season, that word's going to come through. And that was the biggest lesson that these guys were able to learn. I'm excited mostly to find out what word the team's going to choose for next year. And I know that these guys will put effort into that.
Got time for one more if we have another question?
Well, let me finish first. It's, Coach said that there's winning and there's misery. That's really what it is. But that's only temporary. It's every day. It's every single day. And I know exactly where we're going. I know where we've been. I know where we have to get to. I know exactly where we're going. And it's mostly due to the fact that we have players that are starting to understand that too. Players that have understood that in the past, some that have kind of, sort of. I think coming into this season next year, this off season that's going to start pretty soon, we know exactly where we're going. And I'm excited for these guys to choose the proper word, because we're not going to deviate from that. And it's not about the other 18 losses necessarily. It's the other 18 of learning opportunities to stay strong, because that's what a loss is. And we had 19 opportunities now to do that. That's too many. We don't need any more of that. And I think these guys are going to start to understand that pretty quickly. And I'm excited for them and proud of these guys, proud of all of our guys the way that they finished. And I told Jared afterwards, and something I know that he'll repeat as a future leader in our program, that 100% of life is 1% what happens to you and 99% how you handle it. And I know they're going to handle it right, because I know they want to be winners, and I know they work too hard, and they care too much about their families, our program, the school, the community, to not do that. That's what I'm looking forward to most, and that's what we've learned from those other 18 and now 19 losses tonight.
Last question.
Coach Keating, you've been starting Jalen Richard, but still playing Evan Rockmore a lot. What are you hoping that Jalen takes from that going forward into the next couple seasons?
Jalen put himself in a position very early on to play for us this year. Unlike two of his classmates, we decided to redshirt, and Emmanuel Nemaya and Jarvis Pugh. Obviously, Jared played this year. Jalen is very, very competitive. He does have a lot of flaws that most freshmen do, but he needs to develop more confidence. I need to do a better job of developing that confidence in him. The players will help him because they know how good he can be. We have at the end, we had 83 practices this year. All right, in 7 of those 83 practices, we had situations that were last minute, last game-winning situations. He hit the shot in practice to win that situation at the end of the game 7 different times. Okay? Way more than Jared did in practice, way more than Brandon or Evan did in practice. He definitely has it in him. Jalen's playing time tonight, moving forward, is all due to his confidence. And Evan made a turnaround because he wasn't playing his best 2 weeks ago, and get to give him some credit, played very well here at home, which is hard to do and he's struggled with in the past. Even early in December, he struggled with that in the South Florida game. It was a matter of putting the experience back on the floor that we needed with Evan, and he responded properly and obviously stayed with it to the point of getting the N1 and putting us in a position to be tied. There's just a great opportunity for Jalen to learn that the experience will come with time. But I'll play guys that are confident in their own abilities. And Jalen right now is just kind of a little fragile with his confidence, but I'm confident in him, and he needs to know that. His teammates are confident in him. His running mate right here is confident in him. And I think they'll do more for him in the offseason. No one's going to work harder. This isn't a knock on these guys. No one's going to work harder in our program in the offseason than Jalen Richard. I can tell you that right now. If you ever show up on our campus in the offseason, I will guarantee you that Jalen Richard is dribbling a ball with his left hand around campus. I will guarantee you that. It's going to be a tennis ball, then it's going to be a volleyball, then it's going to be a basketball. Literally every single day, starting Monday until the first practice, he's going to dribble a ball around campus with his left hand. Those are some of the things that he is tuned in to do. He'll be in the gym later more than anyone else. He'll be a leader with these guys just based on his effort and his attitude. He has it in him. Just a matter of him getting the confidence to do it. And that's why I'm excited about where we can go to, because even a guy like tonight only played 6 minutes as a starter for us. It's going to be a huge part of this program. He wants to be the best that he can possibly be, but he wants our team to win. And he has it in him, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that can bring us in the offseason.
Santa Clara, thank you very much.